This is the burial ground connected to the workhouse in Abbeyleix in County Laois, and it's a triangular plot. There's a gate up above, and then we're looking at this. This reminds me more of the one in Clonus in Monaghan. That kind of smaller triangular shape. It's very well maintained. There's a limestone wall along the edge. It's been planted and maintained. Grass is cut, and what look like tram lines in the grass cutting, I think, are also we're going to see graves in there as well. So potentially we're looking at the darker sections in like that. Looks like some kind of septic tank over there. Just going around to the edge. I'm wondering, is this the original boundary or is the outer timber fence the original one? So that means we could have burials down there. I've walked around already and I can't see potential square graves. Everything seems to be singles. There's commemorative work done up here. Is that gooseberries? There's a statue, Jesus of Nazareth maybe, and then there's some nice concrete cross there. The heart, cross attached, clover, R.I.P. Thy will be done. In memory of destitute people died in the workhouse, Abbeyleix, 1840-1920, and third year, R.I.P. Nicely done and nicely looked after. Some kind of conifers planted up the edge, and then we look back across here. Small site, but the hints of graves, alright. Stig and Shin. There's something here, and if we look in it, I think they're running down along that way. So much smaller than the one over in Athy. So I guess that's telling us something about who was the size of the area working into here, or was there other graveyards in use? I think there is a burial ground marked at the back of the workhouse. The workhouse is down that direction. Workhouse buildings are knocked, and there's a lovely new red brick hospital there now. But there's a burial ground marked on the back of that plot, and I suspect that's later related to the workhouse. Martha's telling me there now she thinks there's something in here. Like there, like it's that deeper grass, places like that. Where? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so like that's quite a prominent depression in that. And I can see him going down along now. Way up there beyond Martha. Over there. So, like, I'm not saying definitively that what we have here is all single graves, but it's looking like the evidence on the ground is pointing at that. He's probably two singles, two narrows. He could potentially be a square one. But look, there's a singles and the banks in between. So if we were to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're squeezing quite in tight there. You could have up to 10 there going across here in this narrow bit. He's really standing out. Stig and Shin. I could definitely be thinking that if we did a LiDAR flyover on this with the photogrammetry, that we would get some kind of ground models that would we would potentially get this, and even that grass, the deeper grass, we'd get that, we'd see that in the orthophotograph. Like, you'd want some kind of geophys to look for single graves in here, but I'm wondering, would the patterns emerge with a standard measured drone survey? Triangular site, I think there's lots of single graves in here. The stackyard, I think I've also seen it called. Laois is a great county. We were coming through and it's rolling, there's rolling, low rolling hills where we were coming between Stradbally and Abbeyleix. And I think over yonder then, way over then, are the Slieve Blooms. Terry Dunn, the historical sociologist, who's done a lot of work into the land agitation and landholding disputes in this area of Laois. I think he has some very interesting things to say. But the white boys, the ribbon men, right up to the famine, and then the clearance of lands, the decimation of population, and then setting up basically a new economy in this part of rural Ireland, and I suspect brought further afield. Very interesting stuff, and I think it's relevant to what we see in here. Question is, how many of these are the famine era and how many are after that? Yeah, so it's interesting. Like, we started looking at the shapes of graves, and I think where we're going with the whole thing is actually looking at the shape of society. Alright, I'm going to leave it here now. So this is Abbeyleix, lovely village, well worth a visit, and this is a small triangular plot on the outskirts of town. I'll leave it there. Slán.